A Cajun collision.
Something blowing off the top of the roof or something. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't staying back there.
Andrew lashes Louisiana with ferocious winds and drenching rain.
The house was shaking, the trees were cracking around us, and it felt like the whole house was just going to cave in.
Floodwaters up, power down. Tornadoes on a tear. A hurricane's last hurrah. This is the CBS Evening News. Live from Franklin, Louisiana, in the heart of where the hurricane hit, Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. What remains of the big storm is blowing itself out tonight somewhere over Mississippi. Andrew, after a violent 54 hours of life, is officially a hurricane no more. The storm left at least 16 dead in Florida and Louisiana. Nearly 2 million people are without electricity. Damaged $20 million and counting. In Florida alone, 180,000 people lost their homes. In Louisiana, the figure is unknown at the moment. After racing across the Gulf of Mexico, the eye of Andrew crashed into the Louisiana coast near Morgan City about 3 o'clock Eastern time this morning. The storm then knifed northward in a zone of destruction, flooding and terrorizing 100 miles, a path 100 miles wide. This afternoon, northwest of Baton Rouge, Andrew's winds officially lost their hurricane strength, but they are still capable of causing damage. Scott Pelley was in Morgan City when the Andrew eye blasted through. Scott?
Dan, late this afternoon, the National Guard arrived here in Morgan City at the request of the governor and the mayor. They are here to augment the police force to help keep the peace during this emergency. This is a town of about 15,000 people badly damaged in this morning's storm, a hurricane stronger than anyone here had ever seen before. The hurricane that howled through the pre-dawn hours left Morgan City a town of battered neighborhoods and shattered nerves.
It was real bad. The house was shaking, the trees were cracking around us, and it felt like the whole house was just going to cave in. I'm lucky we're still here, and the house is still above us.
The wind gauge on top of City Hall blew away just as it read 123 miles an hour. Some who thought they could ride out the storm changed their minds as the winds never seemed to stop. At least 2,000 people fled to city shelters.
Scared of bad weather. I didn't want to stay in the house with my kids. So decided to come somewhere where it's pretty safe, you know.
There were only a few minor injuries, but damage is widespread.
I've been through every one of them for the last 50 years, but I've never seen one this bad.
Homes and businesses are in ruins. Even the Red Cross office is destroyed. Cedric LaFleur is the Morgan City mayor.
Almost all buildings have some damage. The electric generating plant has taken a very, very serious hit.
There's no electricity in this town
No
today.
electricity. We're working on restoring part of it, but it'll probably be 2 days before we get it.
Mayor LaFleur says that his city is pulling together, neighbor helping neighbor, but it is likely to take weeks before all city services are back online and perhaps years before all the damage can be repaired from Hurricane Andrew. Dan?
Scott, are people beginning to go back to their homes now, and do they expect to get outside help?
Dan, they do expect outside help, especially from the state and the federal government. Some people are beginning to go back home, but interestingly, Mayor LaFleur says they shouldn't. He says the city is not ready to receive them because of the electrical problems that we discussed before and because so many homes here are badly damaged.
Same is true all up and down U.S. Highway 90, Louisiana's new heartbreak highway. Our CBS News crew drove down the highway south from Lafayette, picking its way through roadblocks, around down trees, and down power lines to battered small towns all up and down the highway.
Jeanerette, Louisiana, population about 7,000. Your average 3 blinker light town. This is what it looks like in the dawn. Now, this storefront came completely down onto the main street. Steel girders, bricks, wood, rubble, all of it. Hey, you made it. Yeah, they shout, we made it, they said. Well, this store didn't make it. This is the inside of a business, and business after business here, the water's anywhere from inches to feet deep. 2 businesses were here. These were someone's dreams. On this side, a curio bulb shop. Over there, a one-time hardware store. Combination of the weight of the water and the force of the winds just collapsed this building. The front of it is what just fell right into the street.
Trees are down everywhere, block after block, mile after mile. It was the longest night for those who decided to stay behind and wait it out. The wind was clocked at sustained 140 miles an hour.
All I could hear was tin flying, and my husband was standing in the doorway in the back, and he heard just something crack for the longest time, and he told us to go into the hall. And that was when probably that last tree in my neighbor's yard just snapped like a toothpick.
Tell me what you
About
saw and
4:30.
heard and felt while all this was going on.
You know, it was amazing. I'm from Michigan, and I've never even seen one of these before. And I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be. You know, I thought it was going to be really frightening, but the wind was scary. It howled in the house. And we kept looking out all the windows and watched the trees just bend and touch the ground. Big pecan tree, huge, just touching the ground. It was amazing.
Back down the road in the neighboring community of Franklin, the story is much the same. All over Cajun country, no one was spared. The Golden Arches now block Main Street. Thousands of homes and businesses suffering billions in damage in what has become the costliest natural disaster ever to hit the United States. And not far from here, Sam's Club is being protected by a man out front with a rifle, another man in the back with a shotgun. Now, the hurricane is not the only wind that did damage. There also were the tornadoes. Tornadoes linked to the hurricane tore through places such as La Place, Louisiana. Frank Courier has the tale of the tornadoes.
Twisters are supposed to follow hurricanes, but not last night. In the hours before Andrew made landfall, a deadly tornado ripped a 9-mile path across the small coastal communities of La Place in Reserve, Louisiana, killing a 63-year-old man, injuring at least 33 others.
The main thing we're concerned with, there's absolutely no power in this area.
Here on the eastern edge of the hurricane, it took all of 10 minutes for one tornado, touching down 6 times to level entire neighborhoods. 52 houses were destroyed, 250 residents are homeless. Motorists tried desperately to flee the area amid torrential rains. The Roy Aubert family was among many who stayed but lost everything.
This was my front of my house right here with my formal dining room. It happened so fast. When I heard the roaring like a train, within 20 seconds it was over.
His son Brian had just arrived from his home in nearby Lafayette, hoping to escape the hurricane.
Dad was right by the front door and said, "Here it comes." The next thing I know, the wall hit my back, and I hit my mom, and she went into the hall.
Frank Courier, CBS News, Macomb, Mississippi.
Coming up next in the CBS Evening News, we'll switch live from Franklin, Louisiana to South Florida and see them trying to pick up the pieces there.
Some days my minor arthritis acts up, and I really feel the pain. I used to take aspirin. Now I've switched to Advil. Advil relieves the pain in my stiff joints. In fact, 1 Advil is as effective as 2 regular aspirin. And Advil is gentler to my stomach. Maybe that's why doctors recommend Advil for minor arthritis pain more than any other brand. For my pain, I simply prefer Advil. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Ordinary pickles are cooked, and most don't snap. Not Clausen. They're packed fresh and stored cold, so they're always crisp and delicious. Taste the difference. Cold, crisp, Clausen.
Who has the advanced training and equipment to take care of the advanced technology on your GM vehicle? You know who. Mr. Goodwrench, the smart choice for your smart car.
Here in Louisiana, the reality of what has happened is only beginning to sink in. In South Florida, that has already happened. It is frightening and daunting, as Juan Vasquez reports from Miami.
Rescue workers in search of more victims.
though, easy.
The death toll is probably not complete, but already Hurricane Andrew will go into the record books as one of the worst tragedies in Florida's history.
I think I've been to every major disaster in Florida since 1979. Floods, hurricanes, train wrecks, refugee arrivals. I've never seen anything like you see in South Day today.
The arithmetic of the hurricane becomes grimmer by the day. 200,000 are without homes. Those without electricity number 600,000, greater than the population of Boston. With a temperature in the 90s and the humidity rising, ice and clean water are a basic necessity but hard to find. Authorities have ordered that all tap water must be boiled before drinking.
Anybody else want some hash browns?
Most grocery stores have been closed since Sunday.
And I just don't think people understand how bad we need everything, you know, because there's nothing here.
Some hospitals remain closed due to storm damage. The ones that are open are strained to the limit.
We've been on bypass since early last evening, meaning that we've tried not to get any more critically ill patients in here if another hospital can take it. However, all the other hospitals are full as well, so we take any overflow.
But what a difference a few miles makes. The glass-enclosed skyscrapers of downtown Miami came through virtually intact because the eye of the storm hit elsewhere.
It's hard to believe, but one of the most vulnerable areas in South Florida survived Hurricane Andrew with only minor damage. In some of the trendy outdoor cafes, they're already back in business.
We're ready right now. The restaurant will be open probably in a couple hours. All right, send them down.
But for the rest of Miami, it's going to be weeks, even months of long lines, frustration, and misery. No one who lived through Hurricane Andrew will ever forget scenes like this. Juan Vasquez, CBS News, Miami.
Coming right up next, some of the rest of the day's news, and then a little later on, live from Louisiana, we'll try to put this historic hurricane into context and perspective for you, so stay here with us.
Painting your house shouldn't mean a second mortgage. Just get to Sears Whole House Paint Sale. Pick up Sears Best Weather Beater Exterior Flat, only $15.99 a gallon. Easy Living Interior Semi-Gloss or Satin Finishes and matching bright white ceiling paint. All only $13.99 a gallon. Get to the Whole House Paint Sale today. And save money at Sears.
You can count on me.
Presenting the new Civic Del Sol from Honda. It's a sporty, open-top car with a very remarkable feature. When it's windy outside, it's not so windy inside.
I'm on the road every day of the week, making over a dozen stops along my route, so I know the value of good brakes. I've got a lot of little lives depending on them. And when I'm out on the road with my family, our lives depend on good brakes. That's why I depend on Meineke.
At Meineke, we do brakes, and we do them right. We analyze the whole system, pinpoint the problem, and fix it, period.
No matter why you're on the road, you can depend on brakes from Meineke. I do.
As Hurricane Andrew leaves a trail of death and destruction, see the latest from the scene on a special live edition of 48 Hours tonight.
Here in Louisiana, we're tracking what's left now of Tropical Storm Andrew, but there is other news of the day, and for that, we go to New York and Harry Smith. Harry?
Thanks, Dan. President Bush flung a new challenge at Saddam Hussein today, officially announcing the plan for U.S. and allied forces to seize control of the skies over southern Iraq. As David Martin reports from the Pentagon, the unspoken goal is to drive Saddam out of power.
The bombed-out huts in this home video show that the Shiites of southern Iraq have been the targets of some of Saddam Hussein's heaviest weapons. An estimated 60,000 Iraqi troops are trying to blast Shiite insurgents out of the marshes. To protect them from further attack, the U.S., Britain, and France today claimed the airspace over southern Iraq as their own.
24 hours from now, coalition aircraft, including those of the United States, will begin flying surveillance missions in southern Iraq.
Beginning at 10:15 Eastern Time tomorrow morning,
no Iraqi aircraft, either fixed wing or rotary wing, military or civilian,
will be allowed to fly south of the 32nd parallel.
Any that do will be shot down by aircraft based in Saudi Arabia and on the carrier Independence, enforcers of a no-fly rule that extends far beyond the area where the Shiites are under attack. Combined with the no-fly zone already in northern Iraq, the not-so-hidden agenda is to whittle away at Saddam's authority until he knuckles under or goes away. For their part, the Iraqis remain defiant.
No, we had already rejected any threat or establishment of such a zone.
As a practical matter, the Iraqi Air Force does not have the ability to defy the no-fly rule. But there is nothing to prevent the Iraqi army from continuing to hit the Shiites on the ground. The U.S. and its allies are betting Saddam will not up the ante by continuing the offensive and forcing them to go after his army as well as his Air Force. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
A federal judge in Washington declared a mistrial today in the Iran-Contra case of former CIA spy chief Claire George. George is accused of, among other things, lying to Congress. Jurors deliberated 6 days but were unable to agree on any of the 9 counts. The judge ordered a new trial for October. In Germany, neo-Nazis are staging violent attacks on refugee centers. Scores were arrested last night as they fought with police in the former East German city of Rostock. The neo-Nazis want to send hundreds of thousands of refugees back to Yugoslavia and other East European countries. An emergency U.S. airlift of food to Somalia is off to a rocky start, dogged by equipment problems and chaos on the ground. CBS News correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott is in the East African nation.
1 million refugees are on the move in Somalia, weak, barefoot, gaunt, and wasted. They flee hunger and death. By the hundreds, they gather in makeshift feeding camps in the vast sub-Saharan African plain. All roads lead to Baidoa, a place Somalis call heaven, but they arrive to find a living hell. Once great streams give up barely a pailful of water. Roving gunmen steal and kill. Battles between rival road warriors are common and bloody. Even this hospital is no safe sanctuary for marauding gangs of gunmen. Just last week, looters stole all of the penicillin and gauze from the pharmacy, leaving the hospital with none. A guard who volunteered his time to protect this place was shot and killed the following day. Mohammed is left for dead at the gates of the Baidoa Hospital, which serves 1/3 of all Somalia. An American nurse, Teresa Henkel, gently carries him into a room where he can die. An American surgeon operates around the clock without anesthesia or even the most basic sterile supplies.
When I started in surgery, especially when we had many gunshot wounds, we used basically the same instruments from one person to the next, only with a very perfunctory cleansing with water, which we didn't have. We had no gowns. We had nothing to work with except a pair of gloves. And there was pus all over everywhere. There was blood all over everywhere. It was dripping down into our shoes.
A bullet cost this man his lower leg. A hail of gunfire obliterated this man's elbow while he drank tea. A grenade ripped away flesh and bone while this man sat at home. Many will lose their arms and legs when Dr. Ron Bierwechter can find the time to amputate and the bandages to dress them. Mohammed joins a small girl in a single bed. She will die within hours and is too weak to give her name.
Came to us with one little necklace and one piece of rag, and that's her world.
That's her whole world. Wow. She has no parents, no relatives?
Not that we know of. Some concerned man actually brought her in a wheelbarrow this morning and put her in my arms and then left.
Mohammed's forever nameless companion was doomed by a war she never understood. Relief workers, here from the beginning, struggle to understand why they are still waiting for the rest of the world to help. Bob Arnott, CBS News, Baidoa.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, we'll go back to Dan Rather in Louisiana for more about Hurricane Andrew.
Draw from the facts. There's a way to maintain regularity without drugs. It starts here. A high-fiber diet, which can include Kellogg's All Bran, may give you the fiber you need for drug-free regularity. See the recipe on the box for another way to enjoy Kellogg's All Bran. all bran muffins, all that fiber, all that great taste.
Before we ship a new Buick LeSabre, it must meet an international standard of excellence. If it fails to meet a single electrical check, if the aim of a headlight isn't true, if the seams are not measured to the millimeter, we don't ship it. So if you buy a Buick LeSabre for its quality, you won't be missing the boat, even though it doesn't come by boat.
Dear Folgers, I run a bed and breakfast. When I overslept one morning, the Folgers switch saved my reputation. The percolator wasn't even set up, so I secretly switched Folgers crystals for the brewed coffee I normally serve.
This is delicious.
Well, the taste and aroma must have fooled them, because they were shocked when I revealed the switch and joked about sounding like one of your restaurant commercials.
Folgers Crystals, proven to surprise fresh brewed coffee drinkers.
Sincerely, Janet Turley.
Thank you.
A tragic trail of devastation. For the victims of Hurricane Andrew, surviving was tough, but recovery will be even tougher. Continuing coverage tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
St. Martinville, Louisiana, just up the road from here in Franklin. It's a town of 5,000 in the heart of what they call Acadiana, land of the Acadians or Cajuns, people who, like those in other communities, shared the terror of Hurricane Andrew. Bob McNamara was with them in St. Martinville before, during, and after the storm for tonight's Eye on America.
St. Martinville, for almost 2 centuries, a sanctuary.
We're very proud of our little town.
Last night, Hurricane Andrew hammered at the door.
I think this one's going to be the roughest one yet.
If it comes in at 140 miles an hour, I'm scared we'll have a new town.
I got some work to do.
Good evening, police department.
For city officials, a long work night is just beginning.
This one is a whopper stopper. It's the worst one we've ever had.
The power off on that end of a town of it.
Police Chief Jerry Curry begins a patrol that will stretch from darkness to daylight.
It's nerve-wracking. We really don't know what to expect. We're expecting the worst right now.
Here, tracking Andrew's path is an obsession.
It's about right here.
For St. Martinville, the news is not good.
The hurricane is coming right at us. We're just waiting patiently. It's the calm before the storm.
It's coming, and all you can do is just wait.
I really don't know what to do, and I don't know where to go. What's going to happen?
Oh, hell's going to break loose. This thing, it looks like it's going to be real bad.
It was bad. 100-mile-an-hour winds. Heavy rain. For almost 5 hours, the big storm held the small town hostage.
When I go home, I don't know what I'll find. I hope my house is still standing up when I get over there. And everybody's house. I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Yet with daylight, they could see all that was still there. The old oak and Main Street, and almost every home spared.
We all made it through. We survived. Thank God for that.
For almost 2 centuries, St. Martinville has been a sanctuary. Tonight, it still is. In St. Martinville, Louisiana, Bob McNamara for Eye on America.
And coming up next, live from Louisiana, a couple of reporters' personal perspectives on the big hurricane.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered the 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
I drink V8 because...
Hey, I think it's good for me. It makes me peppy.
You got your vitamin A, your vitamin C.
I like it because it has those beta-carotenes in it.
What's that word?
Beta-carotenes.
Pardon?
Beta what?
You know,
beta-carotene.
Muy sabroso.
Call me crazy, but I think it's delicious.
35 calories.
Really?
35? Yes. It's a kick. I love you. V8?
V8 keeps me thin.
It's zippy kind of thing, a zippy thing.
I feel energetic and ready to face the day.
Zane Hunter discovers breakfast with grape nuts for a week.
I love grape nuts. It kept me going the whole morning.
Grape nuts, the fat-free natural energy source.
It just had a real crunchy, nutty, different kind of flavor that stayed fresh. Old cereal's out, grape nuts is in.
Breakfast with Post-Grape Nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
You just try it for a week, and this will become your new cereal.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately, she also has Tylenol PM, with extra-strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. And a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
Double-hit hurricanes are so rare. Hurricane Betsy in 1965 was one of the last of the double-hit hurricanes before this one. Joining me now from Miami to try to put this in some context and perspective is CBS News correspondent Bernard Goldberg, who will be helping us report tonight on a special edition of 48 Hours. Bernie, you've covered a lot of disasters over your career as a reporter. How does this one compare to others?
Well, if it isn't the worst that I've covered, it's awfully close. The earthquake in Managua in 1972 was awfully bad, but that's because there was a lot of poverty there to begin with. But you know, Dan, we've gotten real good, we reporters, at covering other people's disasters and other people's pain and suffering. It's different when you're covering your own. I live in Miami. I live in this community. And I've seen parts of it destroyed. And that's the only word, Dan, destroyed. Not damaged, destroyed. And those parts that weren't destroyed got hit very bad. I went home after covering the earthquake all Sunday night and early Monday morning. I got home for a few minutes. And I mean this literally, Dan, I did not recognize the street that I lived on. So it's different when you're covering your own.
You said earthquake, and everybody knows you mean hurricane, and it looked like it had been hit by an earthquake. Bernie,
it does.
I know that you've been impressed, as I have been, both in Florida and here in Louisiana, that the worst in nature seems to bring out the best in people. I'm keeping in mind what happened around Homestead and how once they realized what had happened, they all pulled together.
You know, Dan, it does bring out the best, and it also brings out the worst. I spent today in Homestead, Florida, the worst hit area. And we saw people giving food to total strangers. The food that was donated by other total strangers. But we also saw the worst. People are looting even as we speak. And that's another disaster.
Bernie, thanks. I'll see you later on 48 Hours. Bernie and I will be back tonight with a special edition of 48 Hours, 2 days of destruction, where it goes from here. That's 48 Hours Hurricane, tonight at 10, 9 Central Time. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News, live from Franklin, Louisiana. See you later on 48 Hours.
Got a truck on the side and a van in the back that took with it.
This is CBS.
Next on Hard Copy, from the town whose story horrified a nation, the Chowchilla school bus kidnapping, a tale of terror and triumph.
Roll into your nearest Nissan dealer now to lease an award-winning four-door Sentra for as little as $159 a month. That's a Sentra with air, cruise, and AM/FM cassette. Just $159 down and $159 a month for 36 months. So hurry in today and...